Well, man cavers, what are we doing today? We're back on this, fitting our new EGR valve that's just turned up. Yeah, so, without any further ado, we'll roll the credits, get this thing ready for EGR. Let's see how quick we can change this. Ha-ha! Welcome to the man cave. Let the games begin. So, armed with a quarter drive 8mm small screwdriver, we can be getting this thing off. We just need to unplug this MAF sensor. If I can weigh up how the plug goes, I can't remember whether they lift up or down. There you go. Right, that's our MAF sensor unplugged, our air box. Pull our hose off, and then the whole thing pulls out on its rubbers. That easy, look. There we go. Now we have a 10mm bolt here, 10mm there, and two 8mm, and that's it. And there's this little electrical plug around this side. So we'll just take this little plug off here again. I had these all off the other day, didn't I? How do they come off? There we go. Just lift the little tab up, and there's our little wire and plug for the EGR. Now then, we need a 7mm socket. Bend your dipstick out of the way. 7mm socket, 7mm, and that does our Jubilee clip for the big hose on the bottom. So we just undo this Jubilee clip here at the bottom. Luckily that's facing the right way, so someone's actually put it on so you can get to the damn thing. It's a job to get, you could get in there with a stubby screwdriver, but we're just going to use a socket. There you go, you can see that's loose now. Simple as that. Right, we better do a 10mm just to take our pipe bolts off. There we go. So yes, for those of you that may not have watched, we've just replaced all 4 injectors in this, and it wouldn't start. I'll link the other video to that one. And then you can check that out. Because the old girl broke down on me. But it seems like after the diagnoses of injectors, it seems like it weren't injectors, it was probably this EGR valve all along. So if you've got a 2.2 that came on you and refused to start, just unplug the EGR valve and see if it starts. Because that's exactly what happened to this one. I unplugged the EGR and it started. Alright, there's our 2 bolts. 2 nuts, sorry. If you're wondering why I don't edit these videos a lot, well that's so you can actually see how long in real time it takes to do these jobs. So you got an 8mm now. There's an 8mm here, which buzzes off. I don't need to come all the way out. Yeah, that one's out. And the other one, we have got to unplug that fuel pressure rail as well, haven't we? I remember now, we've got to unplug this one as well. There we go. Just got to unplug. Well, you don't have to. If you had a long extension on your quarter drive, you could get down there without unplugging it. I unfortunately didn't have a long extension here. I'm just using this handle extension. Again, the bolts don't have to come right the way out, so you can leave them in the holes. There we go. Right, that's that one done. Now we can pull it off the metal pipe. We ain't quite finished undoing this one yet, but there you go. Take your gasket off and then pull him off the rubber pipe. And while you're at it, you ought to check these rubber pipes are not split, because they are problematic to splitting. There we go. And there's our old EGR valve. Right off. In 6 minutes, look. So we want to just check this pipe isn't split, because they are troublesome and they do split. But I'm having a feel down here and I can't see a split on it. It's not full of oil and crap. Feels alright in the manifold, it ain't too bad at all. So I think what we're going to do now is just put our new EGR on. Here is our new EGR valve. There we go. Look at that. Spangly new. And they've given me 2 new gaskets, look. 2 metal gaskets. We only need 1. There we go, new EGR valve. Perfect, isn't it? If you're wondering, there's no new gasket on here because that's an O-ring built into your manifold. So now we can just, without anything else, buzz this on. So it's reverse, really. For a start, you want to get your rubber hose on it. Get it on your rubber hose. That Jubilee clip, I didn't quite open it enough. There we go, that's on. Now we can get it bolted in. Just hold him in place. Right, that front side is started. Let's get the back side started. There you go, that's going up. So this is a 2.24 Duratec engine, although that's in an X-type Jag. But these are the same as the 2.2s in the Mark III Mondeos. They are not the same as the 2.2 in the Transit. They have got a totally different EGR system on them. They don't have this one. That is one of the differences between the sort of paltry 90 horsepower you get out the 2.2s in the Transits to the 155 you get out of this one. Right, I noticed we've got to take the studs out of the old EGR valve because they haven't put them in the new ones. So we need to just turn them studs out of here. Oh, it's coming out of my fingers, look. Look at that. Look, there we go. Screw the new stud in the bottom. Will this top one come undone as well? Well, look at that. They're both coming out of my fingers, look. There we go. Screw he in. We might as well use one of our new gaskets. Marvellous. Yeah, if you remember, this weren't starting with the EGR valve plugged in. So I'm assuming the EGR valve is faulty, and that's not a problem with the car's brain. And we might have to give this a bit of welly to get this metal pipe back over here. There you go, she's on. Now our 2 bolts again. 2 nuts, should I say. I say this is a really easy job. Trust me, if you've got a socket set, you can do this job. It's not hard at all. Changing the injectors was actually really easy as well, so if you watch the video on me doing the injectors, you'll see how easy they was as well. They basically screw in like spark plugs. And yes, for those of you that are asking, these were Delphi injectors, which are not the best if I'm honest. They can be problematic, Delphi fuel systems. So many modern diesels have Delphi though, because they're one of the market leaders, you know. I think Delphi, Siemens and Bosch are the sort of most popular people that do diesel injection, I think. So I have had problem with Delphi injectors before, not just on Fords, but also on a Renault Clio once that had Delphi injectors, and they were trouble. That was on the 1500 DCI engine. You could really benefit from a deep socket here, but I'm managing with a shallow one. There we go, that's that bottom one tight. There's the top one tight. Make sure them gaskets don't fall away. Don't forget to plug everything back in, so fuel pressure switch plugged in, new EGR valve plugged in, so we'll unplug that, we'll unplug that. We need our air box back in, and this has got a good air filter in it as well. Bend your dipstick back to where it needs to be. There you go. Just drop in the air box. Which just lines up with 2 pegs on the bottom. There we go. Hose back on. MAF airflow back in. There you go. One EGR valve changed. 12 minutes, look. And I was talking you guys through it. So, shall we see if she starts? It's going to run like crap because it's in limp mode and it's just had 4 injectors. Them injectors are going to want probably 200 or 300 miles to settle down. So it's going to run like crap, but hopefully it will start. Because it weren't starting before with the EGR plugged in, weren't it? It was just spinning over and not starting. So let's see how we go. Start for me, girl. She's detonated it. There you go, that's clearing a bit. So it's running like crap, but it's in limp mode. It is in limp mode because, you know, we've had the EGR unplugged, it's broken down, we've had new injectors in it. It's got engine management lights galore on it, so they do all need sorting. But it starts and runs. Not very well, but it starts and runs. So I'm not going to run this for too long. I'm now going to get my buddy down with his computer so he can turn all the warning lights off on it, clear all the codes on it, and then hopefully I can take this thing up the road and see if she dries. She's smoking quite bad at the minute, but that's simply because when you have your injectors out, all the oil runs down into the damn cylinders. So that's going to give you smoke until that burn off. Got to remember, this car ain't got hot yet, so... Alright, we're going to leave the video here, and we will see you next time. Bye bye for now. Ha ha! Before we go, there's one more thing we just want to check. I know I've said my goodbyes, and a lot of you are probably gone already, but we want to just check for diesel leaks. So we'll look at our new filter we're put on. Because you remember, I sprayed all this the other day with brake parts cleaner to blow all the old diesel out. And we've just had it running. Just after I turned the video off, the old girl stopped on me again because she was really running bad. It restarted, and then it's obviously in limp mode. I give it a rev, the rev slowly built, she chugged and she clattered and she rattled and she belched out a load of smoke, and then all of a sudden she cleared, and it's actually running really nice again now. It's still in limp because the lights are still on, but I held it on the soft limiter about 2,500 revs. That's all it would go to in limp. So I held it there for a minute or so. So that got her a bit warm. The smoke is virtually all cleared, and she's ticking over actually quite nice now. So I think we've mastered the back of this. We want to just look on these leak off pipes and around these injector unions to see if there's any diesel leakage. Bone dry, bone dry, bone dry, and bone dry. So all these are good. I think we can be getting the little engine pads in there, get the cover back on, so it actually looks like a Jaguar again. And there you go. Ha ha! I will see you guys next time. There we go. Ha ha! Jaguar!